You should definitely avoid these 4 mistakes when experiencing back pain.
Yes, I know that from my patients who come to my practice. They sometimes do incorrect exercises that actually worsen their back pain. And I think we should maybe clarify some of the myths regarding this topic.
Mistake number 1 is something that many people who do not yet have back pain do, and this is sleeping on your side. Side sleepers usually have at least 1 leg bent, often 2 in the fetal position. And now take a look at this position and imagine Petra being upright, then she would be sitting. And that's not by chance, it's not a coincidence for us, because if you sit all day and don't counterbalance it, the body wants to carry over the shortening it experiences in the hip area into sleep. But then something very, very bad and negative happens to us, because what is already shortened during the day keeps being shortened at night. So it keeps getting worse. The reason why people automatically lie down like that is because if Petra, as someone who sits a lot and doesn't counterbalance it, lies on her back and stretches her legs, it would pull and cause back pain, or at least an uncomfortable sensation. And that's why the body automatically goes into this position, so don't sleep like that, rather sleep on your back. Mistake number 2, strengthen the abdomen, strengthen the back. I consider that to be a very serious mistake. I will explain why right away. Petra, let's demonstrate it. For example, crunching here at the front for the abdominal muscles. Now please turn onto your stomach.
And people really do this because they think they are doing something good for their back pain. But unfortunately, it's not true. Even now.
Show me.
That.
Lift your back up, like that. And why do I say this is a mistake? For a very, very simple reason. Have you ever had a massage and have you ever heard the massage therapist say, "Oh, your back muscles are really tense. You have some hard tension there." Exactly this is the case with many, many people. Why is it the case? Our explanation is that due to prolonged sitting, which is not balanced out, the body is constantly pulled forward when standing and the back muscles resist to it. Otherwise one would walk bent forward. Old unfortunate people who walk with a walker, they walk pulled forward like that. Because decades of incorrect training have made the front shorter. And that's why the back muscles are very, very strong and rock hard, because they can barely withstand the pull forward. And if you now crunch even more at the front, where the shortening in the abdominal muscles is already present due to a lot of sitting, further shortening and increasing tension, while at the back, where it's already too tense, you build up even more tension. When something pulls in the front and something pulls in the back, where does that pull on? On the intervertebral discs. And the intervertebral discs are much, much more stressed than they are actually built for. And this can also lead to herniated discs. It all comes down to these mechanisms for us. Therefore, do not strengthen what is already too strong. Error number 3. It is recommended to elevate the knees slightly. Either roll up a towel or a blanket.
Or a pillow.
Or to place something else underneath so that the leg does not rest on it, but is slightly elevated. Why is that? Yes, because the hip flexor, due to prolonged sitting without being stretched, becomes so short that when the leg is slightly raised, it puts less strain on the back compared to when the leg is resting. And if it gets even worse, it is even recommended to place the lower legs on a chair surface or something similar. This is called elevation of the legs.
The step positioning, it's really well known, Roland.
And in this position, as you can see, the leg is almost at a sitting angle. And that's again the reason why the body is simply accustomed to the front being so shortened from sitting that isn't balanced out. That's why in this position, the muscle starts to pull. You must know that the muscles involved are the hip flexors, which run from the inside of the thigh over the groin, one part attaching directly to the lumbar spine and the other part to the pelvis. And at the moment when the legs are raised, this muscle is shortened and therefore it doesn't hurt. And there is no tension in the back and no pain. But this is naturally fatal, because what happens now? In this resting position, the sitting position is adopted again, which is precisely what causes the shortening and makes it worse. And now I'll show you how you can do a workout directly from this position to solve your problem. Lie down in such a way that you don't notice at first that it's pulling in your back. And then you slowly lower your knees and might notice, oh, now it's starting to pull. Now the length reached is what the hip flexor is used to. And you just stay there for a little bit because now the muscle has a chance to stretch and give way. If you give it enough time and maintain a positive attitude, because you know it's pulling now because you're doing an exercise that works against your back pain. And then maybe a day later you go into the position and feel comfortable, and a few days later you are even further down, and eventually your legs are stretched out. Error number 4, you don't hyperextend the hip. What does that mean? That happens when you go backwards. That is dangerous, it is said. Why do you come to this misunderstanding? My assumption is that with most people who overextend, pain is triggered. And pain is indeed something negative. Oh no, this movement hurts, I must not do that. But this is a misunderstanding of body language, and that's why I'm addressing this now. We have now arrived at the most important exercise against most back pain. You may have guessed what kind of exercise it is. Petra, show me. Place your hands down and focus on your glutes. Pull in your belly button and bring your hips forward until you feel a tension or slight pain. So, exactly what is often forbidden in many places today is, in our opinion, the most important exercise against back pain. Because what do we do now? We are now doing the opposite of sitting. Sitting is like this, and now we go into the opposite position, stretching what has been shortened through sitting. And after doing the exercise, you'll notice, wow, it feels much better. Share this video with your family, with acquaintances, with your co-workers, sports colleagues. They will thank you because back pain is widespread.
Yes, and that's why I also do it with my patients. They also get these tips. And if you want to do more for your back, then you will find a routine for your back here. And then you can, of course, do other routines for your whole body.
Goodbye, bye.
Goodbye.